Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be going over a Camaro ZL1 1LE with the 10-speed automatic transmission. So, as always, a huge shout out and thank you to the Larry Miller Ford Lincoln here in Provo for providing us with this ZL1 1LE that they just barely got in as a trade-in. So yeah, definitely check out their inventory in the link below if you're in the market for, well, I mean, you've got a used Camaro here and then obviously all of the new Fords. Let's get in the video. Under the hood here, we have a supercharged 6.2 liter V8 that goes through a 10-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 13 around town and then 21 on the highway, with power outputs being 650 horsepower and then 650 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end on the ZL1 1LE. So, starting at the top of the hood, notice that yes, it is finished in carbon fiber, says ZL1. I think that is just absolutely awesome. And then you got this part of the hood which is all matte black, and then obviously the gloss black that's all along the front. We do get the full LED lights, which I definitely like the look of these lights compared to the like 2020 Camaro SS or the 2019 Camaro SS lights. I think that this just looks a lot cleaner. And then yes, you get the canards up front and then the giant front splitter, and then just look at how massive the openings are. And by the way, the Chevy bow tie, it's completely hollow, so yeah, just for extra airflow. But yeah, the front end on this is just crazy and aggressive, and well, I love it. Go over the tire and rim setup here on the side. So we've got 305s on 19-inch rims here in the front. The back is 325s on 19-inch rims, and you guys are gonna look at the tires and you're gonna be like, whoa, those are kind of crazy. Are those tires bald? No, this actually comes with pretty much like racing tires on it, so they're extremely low profile. They don't have a lot of tread life. Tires like this, I mean, you're lucky if you get like 3,000 to 4,000 miles out of them. And just look at how massive the rotors are in the front with the red brake calipers. But yeah, it's just crazy. And then here's kind of like your full side view on the ZL1 1LE. So there is a couple functions here on the ZL1 1LE. You have the unlock function, the lock, remote start, and then the release for the trunk. Yep, I'll do the remote start for you guys so you can hear what that sounds like. Yep, it is definitely loud, and trust me, you guys will get plenty of revving clips, or at least a big revving clip here in the video. But when you are done with the exhaust, just press that again and that'll shut it right off, and then we can press this to open up the trunk. Now, by the way, the Chevy bow tie logo here is real. It's not hollow like the one in the front, but here is the trunk. It is unchanged compared to any other Camaro. Not a lot of trunk space, but I mean, if you had to use this in a pinch, it could be fine. And then in terms of what's under the floor here, you actually get this. This is the front tow hook, which, I mean, with this black car, it'd be pretty cool if someone painted this red in coloration. But yeah, that's everything for kind of like the trunk area. Not the biggest, not the smallest. And just, oh, I forgot to mention, look at how close this spoiler is to, like, it just like barely clears. Now let's finish things up in the rear here. So yes, we have to mention the spoiler. It is full carbon fiber. You can see here in the sunlight. It's not aftermarket, that comes from the factory like that. Again, you got the ZL1 down there. You've got the quad exhaust tips in the back. These taillights are a little bit controversial. So a lot of people like the more like squared off taillights. I actually like these a little bit better. I think it looks really clean, and they're already kind of like in that white coloration. So I think it goes really well with the blacked out theme on this car. But yeah, that is everything for the rear, and just look how aggressive that is. Now coming up the front here, there is keyless entry, so you just press that and that will unlock it, and then we will reveal the door panel here. So this is the door panel here in the front, and obviously there is no back door because it's a two-door, but you get this nice stitching here that goes across, and then have Alcantara. You've got more Alcantara here. The one thing is a little bit disappointing is there is plastic in this little area, but more Alcantara down here. All of your controls for the, well, front windows, memory seat controls, door lock and unlock, and here are these seats in the front. But before we go over those, let's just look in the back. So I'm not going to climb in the back seats because it is just super cramped, and I'm 5'11" and just honestly do not fit. But you actually get wireless charging right here on that little area, which is nice, but I mean, it's really for the front passengers to use. The seat's even forward, and you can see that you can't have legs if you want to sit back there, but you still get the cool red seat belts in the back. Still get the Alcantara in the middle, still get the nice leather, all that kind of stuff. So the back seating area actually looks pretty nice. It's just not very practical. So now here with these front seats, I really like the leather and all the red stitching. It's just a really cool look. They are pretty wide with the bolster, so you could be a bigger person, still fit in these. I think these make these for quote unquote fat Americans, but you got the ZL1 right there. They are Recaro seats, and then just like the perforations on it, it's just really nice. They are fully power adjustable. There is the pedal layout at the bottom, which actually has a nice premium look to it. Steering wheel is actually going to be manually adjustable, and well, there's little paddles on the back of them, but again, they're kind of disappointing because they're plastic. But here's one more look before we pop in. Well, let's start up the ZL1 1LE. So just press that. And, well, the gauges will do a really long sweep. Everything will come to life. Here's the steering wheel in the ZL1 1LE. So you have these controls that are actually for the little center stack. You got like little voice command control, phone control. That's pretty normal. Alcantara all the way around with the red contrasted stitching. Obviously that's gonna help on the racetrack to keep good grip. Steering wheel actually is heated. Got the cruise controls right here. Paddle shifters in the back of the steering wheel. Again, that's the one thing I said is a little bit disappointing is the fact that they're plastic. I wish they'd use a little bit more of a premium material. Like my Raptor has those magnesium paddle shifters. Those feel pretty nice. But you've got your stock for the lights and then your stock for the windshield wipers. So here's the center infotainment system aspect of it. You can basically have it to be a bunch of different functions. Just gives you different bits of information on the Camaro. You can see all those different tabs that you can go through. And then notice that there is the little performance tab. That basically just gives you different bits of information on the car itself. Pretty straightforward. I like it. It's a good configuration. And I do need to show you guys the drive modes. So there are a couple different drive modes. There's the touring mode, which is going to be your like most comfortable, least aggressive, a little bit quieter with the exhaust. The sport mode, which you actually can hear the valves open and close once you go over to sport. Got the track mode, which is for your aggressive track driving, and then the snow and ice, which it's cool that they have that mode, but I would really hope that someone who buys something like this just doesn't take it in the snow. Now here is the center infotainment system. It's got a bunch of like little analog buttons down here, and in terms of the touch response time, it's really good. So just response time is just super solid. I just want to mention some cool things on this. So one cool thing is the ambient lighting. You have so many different colors to choose from, and if you're wondering, it lights up stuff like right here. It'll light up that little part and in the cup holders as well. But yeah, ambient lighting is cool. They give you a lot of colors, and then they also get the performance data recorder, which you do have to put a little SD card in to obviously record with that. But yeah, infotainment system's good, response time on it's good, and got to show you the backup camera. There is your backup camera with the little trajectory lines. Resolution on it's really good, which is important because the Camaro is hard to see out of. Now down below we have all of our controls for the climate system. It actually does have heated and cooled seats even in this 1LE package, so you do get some nice creature comforts. I love how you change the temperature. So notice that the temperature changes when you spin this. I think that's such a cool little, like, it's a gimmick, but it's really neat. That'll change temperature. Fan speed's some buttons, so that's a little bit more on the lame side. Here's that shifter for the 10-speed automatic. Now this one, if you notice on the shifter, you got a little carbon fiber thing. When I show you guys the options, you'll find it pretty ridiculous how much that option costs. But pull it down, and then that's how you go into the manual shift. So you can use the shifter or you can use the paddles, whichever you prefer to shift the gears yourself. This is for the stability control. This is where you go through those different drive modes, and then you got your little parking brake right here. Couple cup holders where I just kind of showed you that, and then also where the ambient lighting is. Now this is pretty funny. So this is the Alcantara right here. It says performance on it. Again, it's pretty expensive. There's your center console, which is just tiny. Now there is this little 12 volts. I forgot to mention that. And you guys saw the wireless charging, but I just want to show that to you guys again. Now the glove box, it's a normal glove box, but it does have the window sticker, which I'll show you guys in a second, and you'll find it pretty interesting. Carbon fiber above it, which I think is really cool. The one thing that I don't like, again, the dash, it's a bunch of hard touch plastic, which, I mean, it's not the nicest. Now up here, we just have a regular black headliner, no sunroof. I mean, you're not gonna wanna have a sunroof on a high performance car like this. And then one thing to note, this one doesn't have that cool like camera mirror system, but look at the view through the mirror. Like, don't tell me that that is not one of the most epic views of all time. Just big wang gang. So this window sticker keeps folding up on me, but there's the fuel economy. Here is the base price of a ZL1. Now, the 1LE package, you can see 1LE track package is $7,500. You've got all of this stuff. You get a $2,100 gas guzzler tax, which is pretty interesting. 10-speed automatic, which, I mean, it does add some weight, but it shifts really quickly. You guys will see that in the driving portion. But here's the interesting options. Okay, look at the price of the carbon fiber trim. That carbon fiber trim. That costs you $500. Now, look at the price of, like, the center console, for example. I mean, $325 for this. Like, some of these options are crazy, but yeah, there's the total price. That all being said, let's take this 1LE out and see how it drives. quickly talk about visibility before we set off in the ZL1 1LE. So visibility over the hood, it's actually a lot easier to see over than I thought. It's so cool to see the carbon fiber there in the center. Now visibility through the mirrors, it's actually pretty good. You do get the blind spot monitoring, which is nice, but again, visibility through the mirrors, pretty decent. Now this is where things die, is in the rear. Yeah, visibility is really bad in the rear, and again, this one sadly doesn't have the camera system, but I mean, it's livable. It's just, you've got to definitely be careful driving this car. Definitely be aware of everything, and well, let's set off. Something that's actually pretty cool is the car started back up in sport mode after I had it in sport mode, so I think that's a pretty cool thing. But yes, we are starting off, and I'm a little bit nervous with this car just because it has so much power, rear wheel drive, but I think the canards and the big wing in the back, the big wang in the back will keep me safe. Just because all that extra downforce that really isn't used till really high speeds. Oh geez, it's actually not that bad getting out of places, like it doesn't bottom out. But yeah, first setting off, by the way, I'm in the sport mode. I'm gonna be driving in manual mode because I've been told that this car drives a little bit better in manual mode than it does in the automatic mode when you are in the sport mode. But driving here initially, it's bumpy. Like you guys just felt that. It is extremely bumpy, and you hear quite a bit. You hear the engine, you hear everything happening around you. Like it is a loud, bumpy, obnoxious car. Oh, you hear so much supercharger whine. Like everyone talks about the Hellcat for having a ton of supercharger whine. This is really solid in terms of like just the supercharger sound. But I'm not gonna sugarcoat it for you guys. It's a loud car. It's not very comfortable to drive, but again, it's supposed to be like a race car for the road. Let's get a couple more downshifts here. Ooh, yeah, those downshifts sound so good. I'm gonna roll down the windows just a little bit so you guys can get a little bit more exhaust. We're gonna go like half throttle. It's so okay. So I just did like, I would say that was probably about 50% throttle, and it wasn't fishtailing or anything, but like it was just boom. Jeez, it's quick. But I promise, like, I'm not gonna let you guys down. I had a bunch of complaints on my video where I did a review on a Chevy Camaro SS, and everyone said that I didn't drive it hard enough. They said I didn't get on it enough. I'm gonna mend that right now with a 650 horsepower ZL1 1LE. I'll get on it, but we've just got to be under the proper circumstances. So we've got to head to Mexico. All jokes aside, as I'm at a higher speed, again, it's pretty noisy here in the cabin. I still feel a lot, but the engine actually gets pretty quiet. So again, I'm in the sport mode. I'm in 9th gear, and I can still accelerate uphill in 9th gear, which is ridiculous. Like that's just, oh my gosh, that's crazy. But other than the fact that I can accelerate uphill in 9th gear, the engine actually gets pretty quiet. Like it doesn't have this like crazy, just obnoxious sound all the time. It gets really quiet. It's really comfortable, and so it's super solid on that side. So again, it's not the most daily drivable car, but it has some aspects to it where you could daily drive it. Well, we are going to get another little acceleration here. I can't even go full throttle. It has too much power. Like this just has too much power for on-road use. I need to like get this onto a track to like fully experience all of the power that this car has. It's crazy. It has so much. And the other thing that I forgot to mention earlier is the brakes. The brakes just bite so hard. And geez, these downshifts, like they're quick. These downshifts are really quick. Like just listen to this, just watch. I press it and it happens pretty much instantly. Like that usually doesn't happen with torque converter automatics. My Ford Raptor has a 10-speed automatic similar to what's in this car, and I can promise you the downshifts aren't that quick. Like this car is just so much more responsive, and it's just impressive what they've done with this transmission. Jeez, this is so crazy. This car is insane. I don't know how to explain it. And I'm going around like kind of like a sweeper right here. and it's so much grip. Like, I'm not gonna say how fast I'm going right now because I don't want to get myself in trouble, but just, it grips so well. Jeez. This is straight up like, this is a race car. I can't emphasize this enough. This is a race car. Like, there's so much grip. I just went an extremely fast, undisclosed speed, and I didn't feel like it corners so flat, and there's no body roll. Like, yeah, this thing is amazing. So that will lead me into summing things up. If you're looking for a race car for the street, basically, and I know that there's the Hellcat, I know there's the GT500, but these pre-owned can actually be picked up for really cheap now. They've depreciated enough. I've seen them, if you get like a regular ZL1 without this 1LE package, I've seen them for as low as like 40 grand, and I've seen some 1LEs for as low as like about $50,000. So think about that. You could spend $50,000 for a used one, and you could get a car that does 0 to 60 in about 3 seconds, has 650 horsepower. You could get a manual or automatic, whichever you prefer. And I mean, you could just take it on the track straight how it is, and it looks like a Batmobile in black. Like, this is a crazy car. I have nothing else to say, guys. That's all. That is gonna sum things up with our video on the Chevy Camaro ZL1 1LE. I want you guys to let me know in the comment section below if this is your dream car or whatever. But again, huge shout out and thank you to the Ford here in Provo for letting us have some time with this ZL1 1LE. Again, inventory will be in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video.